Hello, friends. Welcome to the Career Guru Podcast. I am your host, Steve Yanofsky. What a glorious day it is to start your path on a new career. Doors are opening here at the Boston Career Institute even as we speak. And I'm here holding the key for you. So tune in, stay sharp, and enjoy yourself. This is going to be great. Hashtag Let's Career Up.
Greetings, my friends, conversationalists, thrill seekers, career gurus, aspiring career gurus, everyone in the career guru land. It is I, your career guru, coming to you all across the fruited plain through the magical waves of the internet. Yet again. So we're talking about all things career related. We've explored many different topics. Today, I want to talk to you about achieving your goals and a little psychology that goes along with achieving your goals and how to find a right direction on that compass that you use to find that perfect path, the straight line to get to where you're going. And we all know that there's really no straight line, but at least there's a direction. North by northwest. As long as it's in that same direction, you could go in a zigzag pattern, but you'll get there eventually. Almost never a straight line, always something. But that's, as we discussed before, is one of those things that makes you stronger. Let's discuss. What happens to you on the way to achieving your goals? How do you find a way to achieve your goals? On the way to achieving your goals, it is important to get in touch with your subconscious self. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I said that. Subconscious self. Is there really such a thing? Yeah. In the theoretical principles of psychology and popular psychology today, people keep talking about reaching into their subconscious. It's not really subconscious. It's your past experiences that are working as your operating system since your entire childhood and your adolescence and everything else are a piece or part and parcel of that disk operating system, as they used to call it back in the day when I was growing up and learning about computers, but it's your operating systems like Windows, like Linux. One of those things. It's the operating system that drives your hardware. Okay. And all of this thing was shaped through your experience, your genetics, and everything else. So subconscious is just a basket full of your life's experiences, and they all started with your childhood. So on the way to determining your career goals, it is important to truly understand what happened to you in the past. And we neuroscientists know that we stop learning, real learning, by the time I think we reach 4 or 5, something like that. And then we begin to build on those experiences. So it is exactly that part that we need to tap into and a few other things moving forward. You need to do a certain exercise to establish your goals based on things that you liked and things that you didn't like. You have to reflect on the things that brought you joy in your childhood, your adolescence, your young adulthood, and identify which one of those translate into profit, which is what your career growth is all about. Making more money, my dear friends. I love saying that, making more money. You have to make more money. Why? You can do good things with money. People can do bad things with money, but you will do good things with money. All of you within the reach of my voice will do good things. You can be more charitable with your money. You can do acts of goodness and kindness with more money. And remember that charity begins at home. So by making yourselves a little bit more comfortable, by making your family a little bit more secure, you are doing good things in the world. You're inspiring others. You're inspiring your family, you're inspiring your neighbors. There's all sorts of good things you can do. Certainly you can do bad things with them, with money. But money is one of those things that can go either way. By our standards, we want you to have more money. And for that, let's do this exercise. Take out a piece of paper and start writing things down, starting with early childhood. What did you love doing for fun when no one was watching? Now keep it clean. There are certainly things that you know you were doing for fun, okay? Not that you have to please anyone, but things that gave you joy. What are those things that actually made you lose track of all time when time, space, and continuum blend into one? What were those things? What were those things? Was it doodling with crayons? Was it listening to classical music? I don't know. Any of those things. Was it feeding your cat or dog, going out for walks with your dog or your pet, whatever the case may be? What kind of a person were you when you were doing all of those things in your early childhood? Were you imaginative? Were you curious? Were you builder minded? Were you helper oriented? What were those things that you were as a child? That is who you are to this very day, except it got a little enclosed in this shell, that we call life. Sometimes we do things which are necessary. We forget about the things that gave us pleasure and purpose when we were young. If you reflect back on these early childhood days, you will find that you haven't changed. Yes, you may have become a little bit coarser, a little bit more cynical. And that's why we go back to those times when you actually enjoyed yourself and had pleasure from the simple things in life. Start with a childhood that you can remember, and then move to your adolescent years. Now, over there, you are a little bit more cognizant. It wasn't just about the physical pleasure. It wasn't about your curiosity. It was more about what topics or hobbies excited you. I mean, notice we're going from childhood to adolescence. Technically, we're building on all those things. What role did you play among your friends? Were you a leader? Were you a listener? Were you a creator? Were you a little bit of both? Did you enjoy solving problems, expressing yourself, competing, or organizing things? What were those things that you were doing as an adolescent? All of these things shaped who you are. And then we progress to your young adulthood. These are the things that are built on top of that foundation. What subjects or activities came naturally to you? Were you drawn to mathematics? Were you drawn to history? Were you drawn to music? What are the passions that you can think of? Skills you pursued, even without reward, especially without reward. Which were those things that you were doing? When did you feel most like yourself? Oh, what a poignant question that is. Again, going back to your childhood, what things gave you pleasure when no one was looking? And this goes to young adulthood and ties into this very last question that I'm posing here for you. When did you feel most like yourself? Under what circumstances? That's what you have to explore. That's what you have to explore. These are all things, and you need to write these down. You need to write these down. Part 2 of this experiment is to look for themes and transferable skills. There has to be a line, there has to be a parallel to all the things that we talked about. See, we never deviate from who we are. We are born complete human beings. We know who we are, whether it's genetics, whether it's shared knowledge, acquired knowledge through generations of your people. You know who you are. You know who you are, and we don't change. Neither the people around us. Keep talking about all of these people who are quote unquote professionals today, but they haven't changed their days since kindergarten. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. The same people who betrayed your trust or the same people who helped you up when you were down, these are the same people. They may have fancy degrees and job titles, but they're still the same people who you met on your way up to your adulthood. So looking at themes and sequences that are similar will help you develop your path towards achieving your career success, because there has to be a passion, and that passion doesn't change through the times. It gets, again, coarser. It gets covered with a shell. Okay. But sometimes when life circumstances bring us to a point where we need to do something different, we're looking for a new success, we're looking for new things, new challenges, we have to go back and we find them. Reflect on your list that you just put together. Look for patterns, common themes, and career translations. Okay, you have to look for things that will bring you to a point of superb, extreme interest in what you're about to do. Sometimes it requires you to make a drastic deviation from where you were, or at least finding commonality to what you've been doing thus far and tie it in with your original passions. Was it creativity as a child? It may lead you to things like graphic design, marketing, storytelling, product design, things like that. Was it technical curiosity? Did you want to become an engineer? Was it something you wanted to do as a software development professional? Cybersecurity is one of those things that you could be doing. Was it leadership? Are you a born leader? Are you a manager? Are you a potential coach? Are you an entrepreneur? You can see all these things happening. You can. Look at what happened to you as a child. Look what happened. Communication skills. Are you a born public speaker? Are you a teacher? Are you a salesperson? Are you any of those things? Were you a problem solver? That puts you in a place where you can be a consultant. You can be a data analyst. You can be a doctor. You can be any of those things. It's never too late, my friends. Only death gives us pause and a point where to reflect, hey, should I have done something different? Until that time, and may it be a long time in the future, you have an opportunity to change things for the better for you, or just to change for the sake of change. Sometimes that's one of those things that's necessary. Looking for themes with transferable skills is key. After that, you have to find a match for your professional opportunities today. Ask yourself the following questions. What activities that you like would others pay for? Think about this for a second. It's one thing to enjoy yourself, but would people actually pay for it? That's a key. That's the key. It's an interesting thing happened. I had a person show up to my office just yesterday, and he was telling me about this brilliant app that he has developed, and the app was, very interesting, very peculiar. It was made in the form of a game. It was meant to help people develop better language skills. And I asked him, "How are you planning to make money?" I said, "Well, no, I was only trying to help people." I said, "But how are you going to make money?" And why did I ask that question? Helping people only goes so far. And if you're not compensated for your efforts, it's going to end. It's not going to lead to anything good. So I told him, why don't you think about who's going to buy this first? Okay, or what will people pay for? And he went through all the time and trouble to create this app, and he showed it to me, and he was proud, very proud of himself, and I'm proud of him too. He made a really good product. The question is, who's paying for it, and where will it go? And that is something that he kind of sat there and says, wow, I didn't think about that. And that's what most people who are creative, they want to create something, but who's going to pay for it? And that's the key. You have to be able to match your desires, things that give you pleasure and your passions, with compensation. Without compensation, money is the engine of the world, and we can do great things with it. And that's how you need to figure your career goals. This is exactly what needs to happen. So ask yourself the question as to who's going to pay for it all. And out of the things that you have listed for yourselves, which ones do I still enjoy doing today? How have those things that led me through childhood, my adolescence, my young adulthood, how have these things mutated into what? What am I still interested in? What am I going to do? What would I do even if you get paid for it? Or would I do it if I wasn't getting paid for it? But imagine if you could be. Okay? What would you do? These are important questions. Here are some examples for you. If you love drawing and storytelling, pursue something like content marketing, designs, illustrations. There's lots of opportunities. Did you enjoy organizing and mentoring? Consider leadership and education, human resources, all sorts of stuff you can do. Consider all these possibilities. Use the internet to your advantage. Type in the skills and desires that you may have had, the desires that you may have had over the years, and see what kind of things life could bring you. What could you do? Where could you go? See, in today's podcast, I really wanted you to think this through. We're going to be talking about this over the next few podcasts and discuss this even further. But tapping into your experiences that you have had, your wants, your desires, your dislikes too. You want to stay away from them because, sometimes, again, life and our circumstances lead us into areas where we don't want to be. We talked about toxic environments before, but guess what? If you had put yourself in a toxic environment, you got there yourself. You put yourself in there. You chose to endure this awful experience. You made that choice. It's because you had forgotten what got you to this place in your life. You knew that you weren't going to get together, that you're not going to get along with these people. You've seen them all before. This is not your first time at the rodeo. Tap into your past experiences. Verbalize them to yourself. Be honest. Remember, the parts that we talked about are things that gave you joy when no one was looking. Your fears, your apprehensions too play an important part. Now, you may have overcome them, but they're still there. Everything is still there. Nothing is ever erased. It may have been forgotten, but it's still there. So tapping into your quote-unquote subconscious will guide you to the area that you need to be and the area that you need not be. And a lot of times, it's even more important. Now, we did cover a lot of topics here today. It's not my usual 10 points. It's a little bit different. But we're going to come up with a few other points to help us guide through and make our way through this murkiness that is our existence today. And, cutting through the sea of confusion and sometimes despair is important. You need to be happy. You need to be comfortable. You need to be appreciated. You cannot be in toxic environments. You must be unshackled to pursue your interests and your desires and passions that people will pay for. And on that, my dear friends, I'm going to end our podcast for today. And we look forward to other podcasts exploring your subconscious and other items of the surface that will lead you to greater heights financially and professionally. It is your career guru signing off. All the best to you.
Well, friends and aspiring career gurus, this was fun. Thank you for tuning in. I feel enlightened, I feel empowered, and I'm feeling grateful that we spend time with you. For more information about Boston Career Institute, please visit our website, bostoncareer.org. Boston Career Institute has 3 campuses located in Brookline, Massachusetts, Malden, Massachusetts, and Lowell, Massachusetts. Call our toll-free number 888-383-6058. For questions, comments, and/or information about our podcast, email me at thecareerguru@bostoncareer.org. The Career Guru podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, our website, bostoncareer.org, or wherever you stream your podcast. Subscribe, stream, rate, and review our shows. Your rating and reviews help our show reach new audiences. Produced by PodPro Entertainment, The Career Guru lives within a network of podcasts located at podproentertainment.com. Hashtag The New Radio. Looking forward to seeing you soon. All the best to you. My name is Steve Yanofsky. I am the Career Guru. May God bless you. Hashtag Let's Career Up.